Hello, book lovers and French lovers. Welcome to the very first episode of my new podcast, Read in French. I'm Lydie Bureau, I'm an English teacher in France and the founder of Lydie's Book Club. For now, it is only a book club to learn and improve your English through reading and conversation. But hopefully soon it will be a book club to learn and practice your French through reading and conversation. This idea of podcast and this video came from a question that someone asked me on YouTube a couple months ago, and it's only now that I had the chance to have the time to do this video and do and give some tips. So if you are interested in joining a book club to learn French, then sign up to my newsletter, to Lydie's Book Club newsletter, and answer the short survey to let me know. And if there are a couple of people who are interested, then I might open a new group for French. At the moment, we have one group for English, and I would be a group. The group in English. I just want to make some precision about to give more information about this group. So this is a group for intermediate and advanced speakers. But for the French, maybe this could be a group for beginners, or I don't know, depending on your level. I will specify in the survey whether you want to open a group, to be in a group for beginner or intermediate advanced. So beginner, intermediate. So if you know a little bit of French, then that's great. Then it would be sort of a group for beginner and intermediate. Or if you're more advanced, then an intermediate advanced group. So let me know in the short survey. Sign up to the newsletter and let me know in the survey. Yeah. So in this video today, I'm going to give you my tips and recommendations to learn and improve your French through reading, because this book club or this podcast is mainly about reading and how reading can help you learn a language. I find that it is an amazing tool and a way to learn, and a different way to learn a language, and maybe an unusual way to approach a language. I know that it's always fun to have activities and role plays and etc. Everything is good. It's just that I'm more into reading and getting into immerse yourself into story and characters and try to develop your critical thinking and compassion toward a character, and develop your empathy or sense towards what characters can go through. And it's always interesting to put yourself in the shoes of someone else. And it always bring very interesting conversation. And I love the combination of reading and conversation from that reading, and the reading of that chapter of that, or of these a couple of chapters, or from a book. So to me it is an amazing way to approach the learning of a language. So my very first tip is for you to know, first of all, what level you have in French. Are you a beginner? So you just know some words, a couple of words, and that's it. Um, or are you an intermediate? Then, if you're an intermediate, that means that you're able to make short sentences. Okay. And then advanced level, then you are able to have long conversation. Intermediate level is where you're able to have to make sentences, have short conversation, really basic conversation, you know. So to make it quite brief, you have those three different categories: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Okay. So sometimes we consider ourselves as beginner, but actually we know more than we think. So don't undermine yourself or put yourself down about your French. It's only with practice that you get better. And sometimes you realize, oh, well, I know words, I know this, I know that. So you will see very quickly that you know things. Or maybe you don't really know anything and then you're really a beginner. So my second tip now is to maybe start with graded readers adaptations. So if you've been following this podcast or my YouTube channel, you might have seen some of my readings or online readings of several adaptations, and I love them because the great advantage of adaptations is that you have levels from beginners to B2, so upper, intermediate, advanced. So this these types of books are amazing tools, an amazing way to practice your if you want to start reading, and they're very short. And also, if you're someone that likes classics, so if you would like to try and well to learn French classics, then graded readers can be a first entry door or a first step towards reading in French and read the classics. So if as along well along the way that you improve your French, then you might at some point feel ready to read the original text. But if you have a beginner level or intermediate, then maybe it's best for you to start slowly, and it will definitely help you build your confidence with reading and with reading in French and understanding French. So go step by step, be kind to yourself. So what I could recommend is there are two companies that I know, well, there may be more, but I'm going to talk about two publishing companies who have quite a large selections of French adaptations. So you have the French company called Clé International. Maybe you know about them if you if you you've been interested in reading in French before, or you have been taking French classes. But I know that the annoying thing that I found, whether if it's for learning English or French, it's that you in regular classes, teachers don't necessarily think about reading or using these materials. And I find that it's a shame because they're very rich in vocabulary, and it's a great tool for learning as well. Great resource. So this book is called La Petite Fadette, which is a classic from Georges Sand, which who was female French writer from the 19th century. I love French. I love female writers, as you might have seen on my podcast and in the book club. We read mainly female writers. so English female writers, but we might start with female French writers. They're less known, unfortunately, but Georges Sand is very one of the most popular French female French writers. So this adaptation is level one, so niveau un, level one, A1, so very beginner, okay? But as you can see, for a beginner, I find that it's quite dense. You have a couple of chapters, but it's written in big, and the book is quite small. You have a couple of illustrations. And at the end, you have some vocabulary and reading comprehension activity already as at a beginner level. So um, I find that it's a great way to start slowly with reading and learning French as well. So that's Clé International, and they have lots of different um, levels and large range of books. Then there is a second publishing company. This is an Italian company called Ellie, and they work in collaboration with the distributor Pierre Bordas et Fils, which is a French distributor. And they have these collection for French readers. And this one is the same book. So I wanted to show you two different adaptations of the same book. So this is level one, and that one is level three, which is B1, so intermediate level. Um, I quite like these ones, this collection, because it's very rich inside. You have the characters at the beginning, so you have a little summary here. So in this adaptation, there are 9 chapters, but they're a bit longer. That's for B1. And you have lots of different um, pre-reading activities. And here is the first chapter. Here, also some illustrations. You can see that the text is longer. Then you have post-reading activities. So it's um, very rich in activities and content, I would say. So this one I show you quickly. It's like that. For each chapter, there are vocabulary and reading and comprehension activities. So there are quite a lot of there. That's why it's very rich in content and activities, exercises. And at the end, what I love is the way they have displayed Georges Sand's little biography. So we can read a lot of information about her, and it's in color. Uh, so it's very, yeah, colorful, lots of pictures. So I think that um, this book is much more appealing, I would say, for readers, but you have to have an intermediate level. If you're a beginner, then I advise you to read this one, even though this is not so appealing. And here you just have this page, but it's for beginners, so you don't, it's not necessary to have more information than that. Um, there are only 600 words. Whereas here you've got in intermediate level, you've got 1,000 words here in the text. So it just depends on your level, I would say. So either this one, you can start with this one if you're a beginner, and then move on to this one if you want to read more if you want to um, have more details about La Petite Fadette, for example. And then afterwards, you can read the original text as well. So that's it about graded readers, as we call them, or easy readers, lots of different words, and adaptations. And all these adaptations come from an MP3 audio file, and I highly, highly recommend you to listen to the audio file while you're reading, because this way you will, as you read, you will listen and hear how you pronounce the word that you are listening, that you are reading. And that's really so useful, especially for French, because there are so many silent letters and different sounds, of course. So I would suggest, really, highly, highly, really, strongly suggest you to, as you read the chapter, you listen to the audio file. You can download the audio file on the website. I will leave the link of the website to find these books. Um, this one is slightly cheaper than this one because you have more content on this book in this book. But yeah, and this one is slightly the Clé International's books are a bit cheaper. Well, depends on your budget. Anyway, so I wanted to show you these two for you to see the difference and really emphasize on the idea that listening to the audio file is really important and will definitely improve your pronunciation and your understanding as well. Because the more you understand the way we pronounce a word, the more you will be able to understand people talking in French and also pronounce the word properly. Now, if you are a beginner, I can suggest also another type of book, which are French short stories. I have bought this book because I was giving when I was living in the UK. I would give some French lessons, one-to-one lessons, and I used that book to with my students. So they're short stories. They are original short stories. I mean, original in the sense that they don't come from extract from origin from classics of literature or from books that have been published in France. They're just made up stories. They're yeah. So you can see that they've highlighted the words. They've put the words in bold, and the chapter is like just a couple pages. Then you have a summary um, of the chapter of the story, and you have the translation into English to help you understand. So that's really for beginners, yeah. And then you have a whole list of vocabulary here to help you throughout your reading, and also a couple of reading and comprehension questions. So you've got the answer here, and well, the questions here, so you can hide the answers and test yourself, which is quite nice, I would say, when you're just starting reading to have these short text, these short independent stories. So all these chapters also are based on a particular topic. So for example, here's basic vocabulary, this one. And well, so the chapters have different themes to to learn about and study. Here, the text is all about time and units. Then chapter three is about basic instructions and simple conversations. You've got the summary. Then you have action verbs, masculine, feminine, past and future. So it's quite well made, I would say. So that's for beginners or maybe intermediate. It depends what you want to study, but it's a very efficient way to and a fun way, I would say, to practice the verbs or see the words in context of a story. That helps a lot in understanding the meaning of words, because sometimes it's with the context that you will be able to decipher the meaning of a word that you don't know at first, but because you understand the whole context of the paragraph, then you're able to guess more or less what the word is about. Sometimes it works, sometimes not, but I speak for my own experience about learning English, and I've learned so many words just by the context of the paragraph or the story. Yeah. Um, so I definitely think that can help a lot. Now, for intermediate and advanced, then you can start reading original short books. Maybe you're not interested in reading adaptations, you don't like them or whatever, you want to, or you have read in French already, or you have quite a good level in French. So you would like to challenge yourself and read original text. Then I could recommend this author, Annie Ernaux. She wrote La Place, which is about 100 pages. So it's a short text, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's an easy read. But I think that's something that you could start. Or if you want to join the book club, that's maybe something that we could read together. So you read a couple of pages, like 20 pages at home, and then we discuss these 20 pages together, and I help you understand the book better. And you can ask questions. This is how we do in English, basically. So that's a recommendation. So maybe you can check out Annie Ernaux online and look at all the books that she read. She had read so many. She had written so many books. So I would recommend Annie Ernaux and La Place eventually. She's an author that her books are studied in schools and in French schools, and also perhaps also in foreign schools, well, in British schools, for example, or American, well, learning with students learning French as a foreign language, perhaps as well. But in France, her books were studied for sure. Now, a second book that I would also recommend as an original text is Delphine de Vigan. She's also, as you can see, a female writer, French writer. She wrote this book called Nous et moi, which has been adapted on screen, so you can watch the film in French. And I think La Place has been adapted on screen as well. I'm not sure about this one, but you might check out. You might check out. Um, So Delphine de Vigan is another French writer, and this book is a story about the friendship of two young women. So it's more about young adult story, but you might enjoy as well anyway. And the book has had a great success, and they did an adaptation, a film adaptation on this book. And I studied that book with my students when I was teaching French in London, actually. And you can see that all the annotation, all the chapters that we've studied, or the passages that we've studied. So as you can see, highlighting, underlining, annotating is a great way to read and deep read, and get into the story and trying to analyze and think through, well, critically think about a text and have exciting conversation. Yeah. So we've studied that book with my students, which were preparing their A-level exam in French. And I had two girls. There were two girls actually. It was a very small class. Yeah, not many people are learning French. Less and less people are learning French now in the UK. I don't know if that's changed, but yeah, it's a language that yeah, less and less people students take in and take study, sorry. Um, but Spanish, in the contrary, more and more people learn Spanish in the UK, but French still. So I was teaching French and this book with my students a couple years ago now. So that's why I wanted to share these books. And also, final tip, if you can find the the audiobook of these original text, and I think actually this one you can find it, yeah. Maybe. Anyway, you type it in online and try to find the audiobook of these books, and try to maybe not read at the same time, but listen to the reading of the books. This is how I do with English. I love listening to audiobooks. I don't know if you're in transport or if you have a long journey. It's an amazing way to improve your pronunciation and learn new words and way to structure sentence, or your brain really um, memorizes internally how you say these kind of ideas, or how to formulate a sentence, and how to structure a sentence. It really memorizes the structure of phrases and sentences. So really try to get into audiobooks. I love it. Or listen to French podcast as well. That can be a great tip for you. And of course, watch films and series in French. Now we've got those streaming platforms that we didn't have before, and these are amazing tools to learn a language as well. But I would say don't neglect the reading and the reading experience, and then watch the film perhaps, or watch the film and then read the text, and then you can compare what's in the film. Not saying what is best, is it the film or the book, because that's ridiculous to me, because they're two different forms of art. Um, but it's nice to compare what's in the film, how and what is not, and how things have been adapted on screen, how they adapted that scene, uh, and see how you how the director of the film saw that particular scene and how you imagined it differently. So that's always a um, great material for conversation as well. So this is it for me. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of this new podcast, Read in French. If you're interested in joining the book club in French, or if you're interested in um, or yes, that to join a book club in French, and um, and if there are more people, then I might um, open a new group. So subscribe to Lydie's Book Club newsletter, answer the survey, and with the number of response, I will start thinking about creating a group for French learners and decide whether I open beginner, intermediate, or intermediate advanced. It would depend on you. So let me know if you want to join a book club in French, and also if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to Lydie's Book Club YouTube channel, or to the podcast if you're listening to this content on Spotify. Happy reading. Bye.